yeah, it's kind of mad. And I sort of see it like we're playing roles in this, in like the movement at the moment. I'd say like Gary is doing the absolute, just get the fucking thing out there, and he's just doing all the heavy lifting. Like, bless Gary, man. He's stressed. Like, it's a lot for him right now. Like, Gary's just about to go on a holiday to like Japan or Sweden for a bit. Like, he's going for a few places. The man is stressed, bruv. He's stressed. He's a human. Like, you forget. It seems easy doing what he does because he's just talking. It's not. He goes into war zones, bruv. He's going into like enemy territory and debating them and making his point. And he's like thinking the whole time, how am I going to get this message through to these people? How do I do it? And he's got the weight of the whole fucking movement. It's unfortunately so centralized at the moment that it's on his shoulders because he is the face of it at the moment. And yeah, it's tough for him. So we all need to play our roles, and our roles can be varying levels of size, but they can all have their own impact. So I would say like Gary is getting the headline, this is what is broken message out, and like explaining the deep economics of that. And then I'm talking about the structures in government and doing these big debunks and big video essays where I give people, I guess, counter arguments to a lot of prevailing narratives that are out there from the right, and giving people like, I kind of see what I hope, like this is my hope, is that you watch my videos, you take some information, put it in your back pocket, and when you're next at the pub and someone brings up why the trans are shit, you can be like, bruv, the trans ain't even that shit. But you know who is? The fucking Tories, or just the fucking establishment, neoliberalism. Get them on. You go, mate, bruv, when have you bumped into a trans person? When have you gone for a shit and even heard a trans person squeezing next to you? You ain't ever had that. But you've definitely been down a high street, and you've definitely seen underfunded fucking city centres that have gone to shit. You have seen that every day. The place where you grew up, where you have all your childhood memories, it's gone to shit. Why is that? Policy, austerity, financial crash, neoliberalism, privatization. You can then explain to them. And why do you want to know about trans people? Why are you thinking about trans people? Because of fucking Rupert Murdoch, because of fucking the Barclays brothers, because of the fucking the billionaires that control our media. They so desperately do not want you to complain about the fucking fact that we are not taxing rich people and we're not funding our public spaces anymore. So they want you to complain about the trans person shitting in this fictional toilet that you might one day walk into. That's the thing about Gary's message. I want to know about his answer to the next question. There's like, it's a fucking, it's not, you can't explain how to do a wealth tax in like, you know, a statement. It's like complete, to be honest, that's what I was talking about earlier about the EU. It's like, it needs to be a collective of nations joined together to block off trade from companies that don't want to pay their fair share in taxes. You need that. And there are whole plans. There's a guy called Richard Murray, and he has a whole like how to tax the rich plan, and it will raise like 100 billion for Britain. And you got to bear in mind, just fundamentally, so as people talk about costing out, so say you tax the rich and wealth tax will only get 20 billion. They'll be like, well, why do it? It's only 20 billion. That's like one day of money in the NHS or whatever. I don't know. But you have to understand, this is a messaging that we need to get across. It's not about literally costing out the prices of every one of our expenditures. It's the understanding that inequality in and of itself raises the cost of living. If you have very, very rich people with tons and tons of money, that will squeeze you out of housing. And that will directly raise the cost of living. So if we can just reduce their wealth to some degree, to something more manageable, then we can actually start seeing some better impacts on society. It's not about costing out a budget. I mean, to some degree it is, but it's not entirely about, look, they got the money, we need to take it and then pay for everything. Taking that money from them will actually bring down the prices of stock, shares, housing, energy, all this stuff. You'll start to see the ripple effects. And then I'm a believer in building out the state more. I would want more state involvement into like, you know, certain industries, energy, etc. We need to pressure Greens to get a populist leader. Agreed. And they will. To be honest, from my understanding, Greens are a very democratic party. If enough people join the Greens and want them to change how they do things, they will do it. Helena from No Justice MGT was telling me like that's how they're structured. If we went in, like we could literally do this, and I am thinking about maybe organising this at some point. If we got, I don't know how many members they have, but if we got enough of us to join the Green Party, we could shift it in whatever way we wanted it. Like if we had enough of us, if there was like, I don't know, 20,000 of us that joined and became members of the Green Party, we could vote for a leader that we wanted. We could do it, and it's something I'm thinking about. We're going to chat with the Greens a bit more because it might be the strat. And I don't think the Greens are a shit brand yet, but we could move them in the direction we wanted to. Website says over 50,000. So effectively, we need 25 fucking thousand people to do it. But it can be done. We could, between me and Gary and probably a few others, like I want to say me, Gary, just some geezer, maybe Ordinary Things, but I think he's more leaning on Labour, but I don't think he's like bought in on them. We could probably have enough influence to get maybe like that. If we could get that 25,000, we could shape a whole party. I just think about it like that. Just that's how you got to understand your power, is that can happen. If 25,000 people, and bearing in mind our audiences span a couple, like 3-4 million, if 25,000 people came in, we could coup the Green Party. Okay, I see. I thought it was about more of a case of using the money to try and find the balance, which confuses me because that relies on government spending efficiency. It is to a degree, like you do want the money in to spend on the things, but just inherently fixing inequality will make the cost of living cheaper. If people are less, if you have less extreme, think about Bali. Loads of wealthy foreign people went and lived in Bali, took all of their big amounts of money, and then they raised the price of everything. Why? Because if you're a restaurant in Bali, right, and you have tons of very wealthy people that come into your country, you then go, well, why would I charge £5 a meal? I can charge £20 a meal. They'll still pay it. That's how housing works and things like that. That's how it works. That's how like stocks and shares work. When you have a shitload of wealthy people that hold all that value, they drive prices. And like lots of things are connected. But some points, one left to centre just splits the votes. Less than 30% turnover needs to be active. Investigation of these media campaigns and bots they're 100% using. Messaging needs to be clear. Yeah, good points. I'm not sure about the split the vote thing because I just don't think you can. I'm starting to think like you can't just keep. We're committing the problem if we keep allowing Starmer and that sort of centrist shit to win. I don't think you can win on like all you're going to do is inevitably lead to a more stronger right-wing alternative. That's what's going to happen. If you keep pushing for like, oh, we can't split the vote, then we're not showing them that we have any power. So they're just going to keep doing the centrist shit, which is only going to make the right go further right.